Hello, we are live. Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. This is Celebration of Women. We are on time. Are you on time? Hello, hey. Thank you for joining us. My name is Notemba Madumo, and I am doing the Standard Bank Women Heart Takeover Instagram page. And we are celebrating and honoring women in the month of August. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And two incredible women are going to be joining us as much as you are joining us. Kasize, I see you. Hello to you. Boit Sikokwane, thank you for joining it. Judith, hello. Poncho, yes. I'm loving this company that I'm going to be keeping tonight as we celebrate these women. And of course, we're celebrating Titi Luzipo, who we all know as a fabulous, talented musician. Not only is she that, she's a music director, and she has worked with many artists. We're also celebrating another queen, and that is Simphiwe Dana. She's also going to be joining us, and we'll all be talking about the women that have inspired them, the women that have kept them in check, so to speak. So we'll wait for our first guest, Titi Luzipo, who I'll talk to first, and then I'll talk to Simphiwe Dana. But in the meantime, let me acknowledge you all. Clive Oxen, hello, Clive. Hello, Bantu Mchiselwa. Piwe MG joining us. Tandi Bengu, please be free to make any comments that are on issues and things that our guests talk about as well. Oswald Nyoka, thank you for joining us. I'm so glad that we have some gentlemen joining us, because without the women in our lives, hey, what else is there to celebrate in the month of August? So let's wait for Titi Luzipo to join us now, and then we have a chat with her. Maybe this also is a moment that you can think about the women who have inspired you in your life, the women who have been behind you, who have been pushing you, who have up to this stage been the supportive structure of yours, because we're celebrating women with Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, as we always do every year. So Titi, wherever you are, give us an indication so you can come and join us, and we have a quick chat with you. We'll also be talking to Simphiwe Dana a little later. But maybe I can share with you the women who have inspired me, and these are the women who helped me grow up. First of all, my mother, who was such an inspirational person. Not only was she compassionate, she was an educator. She was a teacher. She loved science. She taught science and mathematics and music. So you see there where my love of music comes. And absolutely a loving person. And in fact, I always say that if there was one woman I would like to be like, that would be my mother. Hey, Titi Luzipo has joined us. Hello, Titi. How are you? I am now. And where are you? I need to see you. I'm not seeing you, and I have connecting to you. There you are. Hello.
Yay!
How are you?
I'm good, Sissy. How are you?
I am awesome, my dear.
Okay, great.
Listen, it's such a pleasure and an honor to have you and chat with you and talk about the women who have inspired you, because I know you are inspiring women just with your work as a musician, as an artist,
Yeah.
as a singer, and also as a woman behind the scenes. Before we even talk about you, maybe let's just quickly go through the women who really you admire, the ones who've supported you, that we're celebrating, including yourself.
You're one of them, first of all.
Oh, 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 thank
Yes, you
you.
are.
Thank you.
I don't think we as South Africans or globally realize the impeccable woman that you are, and the role that you play for us in the creative industry. So shout out to you, Sis Notemba. You've been in the game since I was little, since your jazz show was still at 6 p.m. My mom used to call me every Sunday. I wouldn't do
Wow.
homework just so I can listen to your show.
Wow.
So shout
Thank
out
you,
to you
mom.
for being
Thank you, mom, for me. Thank you.
I will definitely. So shout out to you definitely for being such a great support. The second person would be my mother, who
Mm-hmm.
has been an incredible support, not only as a mother, but as a musician herself. And I mean, you can imagine that it was tough for her to allow me to take this journey of being in the creative industry. Obviously because uyayazi, and she was like, baby, this is tough. Are you ready for this?
And you come from a musical family, from mother, father,
Absolutely.
grandfather. So, into yenu
Yeah.
vele le. Yeah.
Exactly. So she was quite scared. She was quite anxious, but I mean, she gave me that freedom and that liberation. One of the women who've played an incredible role in my life as well would be the incredible Sis Judith Sepuma, who gave me
Wow.
one of my first gigs. She was on tour in Port Elizabeth, and I was in Matric, and
Okay.
she gave me the platform, and I sang at a show that she was a part of, well, that she had initiated. Mom Gloria Bossman also I met when I was in Matric. Mom Dorothy Masuka, the late, may her soul rest in peace. I was very honored to be a part of her. The last album that she recorded that was released last year, I think, or the year before.
Yes,
She
it
played
was last year.
yeah,
Yes.
that was the one that was produced by Steve Dyer. She played an incredible role in my life. The likes of
Mm.
Simphiwe Dana, my friends Zoe Modeja, Tandintuli, Spa, those are the women that I call on some. Are you feeling what I'm feeling?
But
you know.
I'm loving the fact that even just the women you are mentioning are women in the industry. So it gives the impression, which is a fabulous one, that we are the women are in a community of love and support and
Yeah.
pushing each other, rather than the narrative that goes out there that yazi nibambana ngamawashi kind of thing.
Yes, yes,
Mm,
yes. Well, I mean, especially for the women that I had the opportunity of working with, I
mm,
never felt, if I were to make a typical example of Umamu Judith, I never felt that she was a celebrity or this high person that was superior than everyone. Mom
mm.
Judith met me and she became a mother. It was the same with Umam Gloria Bosman, and I'm so fortunate to have worked with her recently again. And she was such a mother. There's just so much to learn from them. They were always ready to advise and to guide and to
Exactly.
to just nurture the talent that I have. And so I never felt that I'm scared or anxious. Even when I had challenges when I went to UCT, I
Mm.
called Mom Judith and I said, listen, I don't think I'm coping. I don't think I can do this. And she just pushed me, said, baby, you can do this. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with, etc., etc. So it's been a great journey for me to be able to approach women like that, and that they're able to help at any given time. And
And
yeah, it's
yes,
it's really
with
it's humbling.
and what is also incredible about your story is the fact that young as you are the music director behind my next guest, Usimpiwe Dana, for that matter. And the fact
Yeah.
that she has trust in you and believes in you with her talent, and handing this baby that she creates in your hands to musically direct, what has that meant for you?
It's been a journey. It's been amazing. It has been hard at times. Also because Usimpiwe is a well-rounded artist, and I tell you now, she knows what she wants. She knows her
Oh yes,
story.
oh yes.
And yesixhosa ndithi akagungqi, akabhekabheki. She tells you straight. She'll tell me, listen, I don't want that, and this
Mm,
is my gig, and I want you to do it this way. But once again, she has the biggest heart. She has such an embracing, nurturing character and spirit. Usimpiwe will make it her responsibility and her duty to know you beyond your artistry or your creativity. Simpia will take time to check up on me, you know, and I do the same to her. And so this is when I realized really that honestly, Sis Notemba, before we are creatives and before we are musicians, we are active members of society who care about each other and about each other's feelings. And I mean, when I first started working with Simpiwe, I had no idea I would be her director today. And she goes around telling everybody, "That's my director, that's my boss." I had no idea. But yeah.
Tell me though, as much as we are giving this picture of things being wonderful, working with each other as women, there are challenges at the end of the day. For you, what has been the biggest one, and has and clearly it has not been the women in your life, in it, but what in society has made your struggles, you know, has made it difficult for you in the industry, and not only just you know, musically or in the industry, but just in life as a mother, as as a woman, as a friend, as a sister, as a, you know, the different roles that we play as women. What have been your challenges?
One of my challenges, Sis Natemba, would be we as women are still treated as secondary citizens in our own space and in our own country. And by our own space, I mean, you know, you walk into a room in an industry that is dominated by males, and you're wearing some type of dress or skirt or whatever, and you hear those chirps in the room, you know. And I say this with boldness because it happens, you know, it happens within our
It's the
industry.
truth.
And
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes you and it shouldn't be that way, but you suddenly feel is my skirt too tight? Is my top too high? Is, you know, and really it shouldn't be like that. You know, we should be able to walk into spaces and feel liberated because we're doing what we love. And so for me, one of the challenges would be that. The second one would definitely be the justice system and how when we report cases of gender-based violence, rape, abuse, and or other, we're not taken seriously. You know, you walk into a police station and the first question you get asked is, "Ubuteni wena? What did you do?" You know, and you ask yourself, why does it matter when you've got a bruise on your face that is clearly evident that
You,
this is,
yeah.
you know, this is something that has happened to you. So it's painful, and I've written songs about it. I've written. There's a line in Being Woman
In fact,
Part Two.
that was my next question about the song that your first single out of your album was about women, because
Yeah.
clearly you feel very strongly about the treatment of women.
Look, Sis Natemba, for me, it's not about hashtags or a movement or, you know, it's reality. And that's why the first line of the single of Being Woman is, fantasy is what we want, but reality is what we need. And for me, that's what it is. It's not about hashtags or, you know, collaborating with a brand in order for you to notice and realize that we're faced with such a crisis. You know, it's reality. There are women that are killed every day by their loved ones, and they carry that with them. And it's tough. That's why I even say in a line that our bodies have become rehabilitation centers for men and for people that hurt us. And so in my strive to enforce change in society, I use my voice as a healer and as a way of eradicating femicide, patriarchy, misogyny, and gender-based violence.
And you do that very well and very impactful as well. Are you working on a new album right now, or any
Not at
new
all.
material?
Not at
Or
all.
ngezinto zabanye abantu, not yours?
hayi sisinothemba ndizakuxelela ngoku sana iyabiza i-album bafethu yo. It's probably the most expensive project after a pair of shoes, I promise you, and after
I can
perfume.
imagine. But
No.
do you think maybe the lockdown, it's been 5 months now. The president is speaking tonight. Oh, Chico, asincede kodwa. But anyway, it's been 5 months now, and maybe even what you're talking about in terms of how, you know, recording an album is such an expensive thing. Has this period maybe given you ideas, the lockdown, on new ways of doing this without it being so expensive?
Yeah, that is a tricky question because I must confess, and I do this because I know that I'm not the only one. The first month of lockdown, I was not in a creative space. I was not thinking new music. I was not thinking at all.
Yeah.
For me, it really just felt like my entire world had shut down because lockdown happened 3 days before I was meant to launch my album in Joburg. So for a good month, yeah. And the fact that we were treated as though we are at the bottom of the food chain hurt even more. But that's a story for another day. I have realized that we are getting used to a new normal, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are scared of going onto this journey of virtual shows and, you know, having conversations like we're having now. But I do think that it's a safe space to go into. And it definitely that we are going to be. Am I back? Am I there?
No, you're back. Somebody's trying to call me, and clearly something is wrong again.
Famous, Natemba. Famous. That could be Winton Masala's calling, honey.
Go on to the Simphiwe, please go on to the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz Instagram live page, because I need you now. I can't talk to you. I'm still busy. In fact, I'm wrapping up with Titi Luzipo. Titi, I mean, just platforms like the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, just in closing, what are your thoughts on what they do for women in the arts?
Firstly, a big shout out to Usis Mandwa and the entire Joy of Jazz team for always maintaining such a poise and such great standards with the Joy of Jazz, and mostly every year making sure that they celebrate women who are in the industry, which is not done quite much, I think. And I think platforms such as the Joy of Jazz really just give us it really gives us a stage to bare ourselves naked. You know, when you're on stage, you are naked and you let it all out. And I think the Joy of Jazz stage has always been that platform for us. I was hoping that this year would happen and I would be on that stage, but I know you're watching. I know you're watching.
What can she do? This, you know, it's not allowed until it's allowed.
I know, obviously. I mean, in this time, I mean, really. But I'm really grateful for this kind of platform also, where I can share my heart and just, you know, speak out and also just give people hope. Look, it's not the end of the world, Natemba, and also just sending love to everybody who's lost their loved ones during this time. We've lost a lot of creatives during this time, and I think we haven't had time to really think
it's really sad. In fact, while you were waiting for Simphiwe join us, maybe I can ask you about the fact that a lot of musicians are talking about how they miss the stage, they miss the audience, they miss the interaction. Is that like the pinnacle of being in this career, in this art, is just being on that stage more than recording or even conversations, or what does the stage represent for you?
More than the stage, Sis Natemba, I think it's the energy that we receive from the
Right.
audience.
Mm.
That smile, that infectious smile that will come from you and the person sitting next to you, that gives you that confidence to just carry on more. I think for me, that's the one thing that I miss about stage, is seeing the reaction of people when I sing, the happiness, the
Mm.
sadness sometimes, or when people reminisce something and, they feel, a certain emotion takes over. That's what I miss about stage. I mean, I've done quite a few virtual shows. It's not the same. I paused on urban sessions last month waiting for an applause.
Forgetting that you are alive, Kanet.
I waited, and the camera guy looked at me on some. Are you gonna carry on? I was like, oh, I'm live. Sorry. So I definitely miss the reaction of people, and just the love that my audience and just the rest of South Africa always just gives us when we're live on stage. I know with Simphiwe, one of the shows I directed at the State Theatre, I could not believe it, because the crazy thing is I was always in the audience. And this time last year, I was directing the music, and I could not believe the love that Simphiwe was receiving from people. Every song, I even said to her, "Do you want to stop singing? Because I feel like your audience is taking over."
But that's incredible. So I would imagine it's something you aspire to. But for those who are looking up to you now, and Titi Luzipo, what do you want to say to them about getting into this industry, and especially in this country, and also with the challenges that it brings?
My first advice is be yourself. Don't try to
Mm.
be anyone. Don't try too hard. Just be yourself. Diane Reeves once said something. She said, when you're honest with yourself, you present honesty. And honesty is what people want. So don't try
And
and
we
be anyone.
and people can see the authenticity and that honesty as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
We
be
we waiting
yourself.
for
Don't try and be anyone else.
Usimpiwe and Mazi uphi ke ngoku, because simele yena asijo.
Ungenile kodwa ndimbonile sithi chwa.
Oh, nanku ngakho uphi. It's just that the comments are so many. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining. I'm trying to find her where she came in, so that there she is. She's waving. Now ask to join. Or rather to go live, Simphiwe, then I can pick you while I say goodbye to Utiti, and wish you all the best. And thank you very much for being such an awesome guest and sharing your love for women and support, and the fact that there are all those coming up under you who will be saying the same things about you is incredible.
I pray for that day. Thank you so much, Sis Notemba. Thank you to Joy of Jazz for having me. And thank you to everyone that's tuned in.
The lovely stuff. Thank you very much. That's Utiti.
Now, how do I get out of here is the question for me.
Listen, I'm trying to find the Simphiwe. Find your way out and circle up.
Okay. Okay, I think I found my way out. There we go.
Simphiwe, I need you to ask to join. Thanks to Titi for having this lovely conversation with us. Simphiwe, request to join, then I can let you in, my dear. I see Mimim Chali is here. Love says, I love you, Titi. We all there. You're getting lots of love there. Titi, Judith is there. Kubeka Vanessa is joining us as well and loving this. Thank you very much. Simphiwe, please request to join so I can pull you in. We're celebrating women with the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. Women heart, the heart and the art of the woman. In fact, that's where you find the heart and the art. Only with women. Yeah, some men too. But I'm joking about that. So we're waiting for Simphiwe to request to join, then we can have a wonderful chat with her. And we're celebrating these awesome women in this country who are incredible and inspiring. Remember that they not only are artists, but they play many roles in society as mothers, as sisters, and aunts. She says she's requested already. I'm trying to find your request. Where is your? I see a wave from you, but I'm not seeing your request. Simphiwe, let me find it. I have to scroll down. Where are you? Where are you? Andiboni. Can you request again, please, Madudu? Simphiwe, because I don't see your request. We've got all these awesome people that are joining and wanting to be part of this conversation with us. I waved back at you. I'm trying to find your request. Where is it? I'm scrolling down. Can you request again, my dear? Because Andy Boni is request there. Go live with Simphiwe. There we go. Fantastic. Now I'm waiting for you to connect. The network will do its thing. Let it come, let it come, let it come. Yeah. It says Simphiwe is unable to join. Jani ngoku Simphiwe. Come, we need you in here. Simphiwe Dana is unable to join. Why? It says here, because we really want to talk to you about your new album. We want to talk to you about, you know, a lot of things, because you have very interesting views on a lot of matters, especially when it comes to women. And that will be a very interesting discussion. And I am not sure why it is refusing to let you in. Go live with Simphiwe. Waiting for Simphiwe. Now it's getting there. Now it says it's waiting for Simphiwe Dana.
There we are. Finally. I've been searching for you guys all over. Like, where are they? I started at your page. Then there's two Jerv jerseys. I'm here now.
And then you were calling me.
Yes, I'm like, where are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you, my dear?
I'm good,
lovely to have you. Absolutely. And congratulations on your new album. Let's talk about that quickly. This new album that now you're at next thing there's COVID. Hey,
yeah, the timing was really horrible, but we are hoping that tonight the president announces that we're going down to level 2, and then we can properly go on a radio tour and tour the album, do proper videos, you know, and go for radio interviews, TV interviews, like do the proper things that we'd normally do under normal circumstances. Yes.
Now, tell me about this album, the inspiration behind it, because I know it has this continent written all over it, or should I say sounding all over it.
Well, the influence really, it started here at home. I produced the album myself this time. Well, not the first time, but the first time I have actually acknowledged the work that I put in on the instrumental side of things. So it's the first time I'm doing that. Sorry, my phone is ringing on the other side. Whoa.
Okay, I'm losing the network.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
So it was the first time I produced an album myself and acknowledged myself. And actually, I did much more work on the production side than I normally would have, you know, for instance, with Inkwenkwezi and Mayine. And then when the album was to my satisfaction on my end, I got the opportunity to work with Salif Keita in Bamako, which is the capital city of Mali, which is where the most amazing finishing touches were put on the album. And he also blessed me with putting his vocals. on one of the songs.
Of the tracks. Okay, I think
Yes.
your signal is performing a little bit. Mamelake, let's talk about the women who've inspired in your life. I mean, I was talking to Titi now, and the fact that she's music director for Simphiwe,
That's my boss.
this young woman. I'm like, how does she even trust you with her child, which is a music?
She's my dream come true, Titi. I've been looking for someone like her for a really long time. Because by choice, I chose to not go to music school, even when I had the opportunity, because I knew that my sound is very strange. And I would feel pressured to basically fit the mold if I went to school. So as a result, I don't know how to read music. And I know if I would, then I would understand the mathematics behind music, and it would change my style of writing, which I really treasure and I don't want to change. Therefore, I would have troubles at times, communicating with the band, telling them what I want from them in a language that they can understand.
Yeah.
Right. And even orchestras, I would travel. Like last year, Titi and I traveled to Italy, where she basically put, them through my music and even helped them fix the scores and even wrote scores for them for the music. That's how valuable she is to me, because
Fantastic.
she can do all of these things that I choose to stay ignorant about. And even actually helping me with vocal exercises, warming up my voice. She really is an all-rounder.
Well, aren't you a lucky woman? Really?
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. I have to continue.
Which are the other women in your life, even just going back to even when you were a child, who have really, either you have looked up to or who have been behind you, supporting you and saying, don't worry about all this that is going on. When Simphiwe, go up to the top of the hill.
Well, I think the first one would be my grandmother. May her soul rest in peace. She was the earliest of female influences in my life. When I came to the human being, when I knew, okay, I am Natemba, I've got a leg, I've got an arm, I can speak, I can see things. She was the one who was raising me, Umakhatebe. She was my step grandmother, by the way. And a very quiet woman, very, very quiet, and not as strict as she let others thought she was. But I guess perhaps because her and I were so close, because we would go together. She would grab me when she had to go and get wood, and go to the river and go get Nkam, and when obviously Nkam Day was the most special day because I would get to buy sweets, etc., And I guess my earliest influences when it comes to being a good person and being an upstanding individual in society and being humble and also being God-fearing. My earliest experiences and memories of that kind of humanity or humanness would come from being raised by her. And then my mom would then come and take over. And this is when I learned the power of prayer and the power of positive thinking and the power of faith, most importantly. Those three things I learned from my mother. And then I guess then it was different people coming in and out of my life. My cousin, who is now the current matriarch of my family, that's where I learned my love of reading. She had like a library full of books, and every time I would visit her place, I would just hide in her room and just read all of these books and consume all of these books. That and I kept that love throughout my life. I fully read the school library at school. When I was in standard 5, which made me very unpopular those days with my peers because I was used as a standard.
Oh, okay.
Even for the kids in the older classes. And then
but would that, okay, I was gonna ask and interrupt to say that would
yes.
that maybe have been where you grew the confidence to speak and express your opinion? Maybe the fact that now you because you are reading but nasesikolweni bathi nangu uzasixelela.
No, not at all. I would say that's where I learned English, you know, because I come from a
Okay.
Bantu education background. And I learned how to spell words before I learned I learned how to pronounce them.
Okay.
And also my speech impediment was very pronounced when I was younger. So I was already shy, but it made me even more shy to speak because I couldn't speak properly. And you know, kids are very, very mean. You
Yeah.
know, so I would get teased a lot for my stutter. That it took quite a while for me to build my confidence, and I built my confidence, you know, not necessarily, you know, as a matter of circumstance. I had to leave home when I was 14. Not like leave, but I went to boarding school and I never really came home after that. You know, and then I was staying with relatives and friends until I finished school. But literally, I had to learn to be independent from when I was 14. And therefore, I had to learn to stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And to speak for myself, even when my knees were shaking and I was stuttering, you know, I was forced to. So I guess that experience of making it out, of breaking out on your own, is what contributed to that.
Now, my darling Simphiwe, you are known to have very strong views and opinions on various things, including issues on women, issues on Black consciousness, issues on men, and just issues on our society, and especially the music industry and how it is being treated.
Yes.
How have you navigated your way as a woman, a Black woman, who has strong opinions and not scared to voice them, with all the challenge and criticism that comes with that? How have you even now managed to say, now I'm at a point where I'm easy, or I don't care, I am going to speak, whatever you think of what I'm saying, let it be your problem, not mine, because it's difficult for people to get to that space. How have you managed to navigate yourself through that?
I don't think I've managed, more like I've known when to withdraw and do a lot of self-care. I think that the thing about activists, right, or people, empaths, maybe let me put it like that, is that even when they want to stay their tongue, they cannot, you know, like they cannot sit by and be quiet while injustice is being perpetrated, you know, in front of their very eyes. And I think that, for me, is the problem with being an empath. You want to change things. You want to see things change. And if no one else will do it, you want to say, okay, let me look around and see, can anyone else do it? Okay, no one else can do it. So what can I do to change the status quo? And so it's not something that necessarily people want to do. It's just, it's in their DNA that they cannot just allow, you know, madness to thrive, evil to thrive.
Yes, watch it, you know, all as if you're watching a river go by, you know, kind of thing.
And I mean, I bear scars from standing up, and it's not something that I would, you know, wish on anyone else. I wouldn't say people must go out there and be activists, because I know the price you pay for standing up, you know, and being counted. It's a heavy price. You will be, especially when you're a woman, especially as a Black woman. You know, there are many more ways. You know, like living in a patriarchal society, there are many more ways to attack women than there are to attack men. And women generally are vulnerable to ridicule and all sorts of emotional, physical attacks from society, much more than men are. And not just from men, but from society as a whole, because of how we are conditioned as human societies, in a patriarchal society, you know.
Yeah.
So I really would, you know, and I've lost work, you know, that much I know. I've lost work from all sorts of fronts, but I do believe that I have lots of protection because I'm still here. I perhaps could have been much further had I just, you know, shut up and ate my food like most other people do. But I do believe that my legacy is intact and it is worth it.
And it is, and your legacy is right here and right now. And because we're talking about women, we're celebrating the women that are in the arts, and there are young women who I have logged on now on the Standard Bank, you know, Joy of Jazz Women Arts Instagram live page, who are looking and watching you. And what can you say to them to say, you, whatever struggle you are experiencing now, this is what you must look forward to, or how should you approach it?
I would say to them that just because of what I've just said now, it does not mean that I live a sad life. I'm very comfortable in my skin, right? And I sleep very well at night. And I feel the warmth of the comfort of the people around me, of the people that I fight for, of my ancestors. I feel the warmth. I am a very rooted individual, right? So everything that I have done is worth it, but it will not be easy. It is not easy being a Black woman who knows her worth. It will never be easy, but it is most fulfilling to live your truth.
And at this moment, you are already fighting a gender-based violence, you know, incident or case as it is. Do you feel you have the support that you need, or are you experiencing the support that you think every woman should have? Because this is a pandemic in this country, gender-based violence, killings, and rape of women.
I have the support of my sisters, Sisi. I have that, and I'm very grateful for that. I mean, even during the case, I got people calling me left, right, and center. What do you need? How can we help? So I've had that, and that is when you see the power of women. Like when they will come and create, you know, a cocoon of safety and care around you, so that you know that you will be okay, even though you feel overwhelmed. The support that I do not feel is from the justice system and from the police service as well. I really experienced. I had really bad experiences. Firstly, from going to report the case, from calling the police who never came, even though I actually called them directly. I didn't call 10-111. I called my local police station. They never came. And when I went to then report the case, this guy was very hostile towards me, asking me, what the hell is gender-based violence? What do you mean you were, you know, asking me, basically interrogating me, what are you talking about, you know? But luckily, because I'm strong and you could tell that I'm not going away, and I kept asking him, what do you mean? What do I mean? You know, that I'm here to report a case of, you know, GBV. Then he finally said, okay, let me just call a woman for you. You know, a very flippant, you know, and now imagine you're 16 years old, you go to the police, you know, or even you're 20, your mother, like, you know, you got nowhere to go, you have no support, and you maybe even depend on this man, and you go to report your case to the police, and they are so aggressive towards you, right? So yeah, no, I didn't get any joy from that, but finally I did lay my case. I insisted, because my thinking was that if this is happening to me, you know, and I let it happen, how much else to people who have less power than me? You know, I wanted to drop the case, you know, so many times. And the only reason why I kept on was like, I'm not only fighting for myself at this point, I'm fighting for so many others who have given up, like I want to give up right now. And as you know, then, you know, there was a counter case opened and I was arrested, which was very, very scary. I won't lie to you. Being in a jail cell, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, you know, because when you're in there with inmates who know that they're going back to jail and they try to groom you and tell you how you must be in prison, like, you know, you feel like you won't get out. You feel you are trapped and there's the justice system is not on your side. So chances are, you know, and I feel like that should not have happened without my case being concluded first. And this is how the justice system is used to intimidate women into silence and into dropping the case. So this counter opening of cases should not happen until the original case is concluded, as far as I'm concerned.
Let's hope that you know, the people in power are listening and they get to learn from the experiences that are shared by people like you. But just in closing, how can the music industry be kinder to women, or should it even be kinder to women? And that's what the big but you know,
more supportive, and not judgmental based on your gender. I feel like many more women would have record labels also and such, and studios, as most men, especially who have been around for a while, do have. But we're judged based on our gender when it comes to getting funding, etc. I guess perhaps they don't trust us with money as much as they trust, you know, our male counterparts. And I do wish that more women would be empowered to open record labels and get funding to actually do proper work. And you may find that we may even do a better job because naturally we are nurturers. So when it comes to that, I just wish more of us would get funding to do projects like that. And I mean, obviously, like there are many other avenues where we can nitpick when it comes to gender parity in the music industry.